crossings of the border is another thing. I think he did superior. He was far superior in his policies for that compared to the Biden-Harris administration as well.
Under which policies?
I don't have to name the policies to know that border crossings were what 400,000 compared to what 1.6 million for the Biden administration. I mean, so the policies of enacting the wall, you could say, the policies of actually enforcing the border. I can't refer to a specific policy. You don't have to refer to specific policies to know that the actions and the talking points that they and the rhetoric that they had obviously made a change in how people attempted to come to this country illegally.
Yeah, rhetoric doesn't really change anything, sir. How many miles of wall did Donald Trump actually build?
That's a great question.
It's 50.
No, actually, it says 450 miles. So
of new wall?
Let's get that corrected.
Of new wall?
Building 450 miles of border wall.
How much?
Yes.
How much did he build of new wall?
So how does? So I know what you're saying. So let's say that is 50. Okay, that's fine. What's your point? You know what I mean?
So you're saying that 50. Hold on. So you think that
I've been really good. Can I finish my point really quick?
Well, you asked me a question. I was responding to the question. You said, "What's my point?" I was answering.
So if I can put it in a different way, if you had 300 feet of fence around your yard, and of the 300 feet of fence you had, 250 of it was falling apart and useless and really not keeping anything out, would you say that adding 50 feet is what changed it? No, of course not. Rebuilding the other 250 feet is likely what helped. Is that fair to say? Can you concede one point? Can you concede that?
Yeah, sure.
Please?
I have no problem with your theory, as long as you now admit, okay, that of that, that building the 350 is what helped, even though your fence is 2,000 feet long. And
that's not what I said.
But that's the equivalency on the border, because even if he built 450 miles of new wall, the border is almost 2,000 miles long. Okay,
that's correct. But we can acknowledge there's hot spots, right? There's going to be key points that probably need the reinforcement more than others. I think that's fair to say.
Right, and actually, under the Biden administration, that's what they actually did, is they found the spots in the wall that were actually most weak, and they needed to be reinforced, and that's what they put the money towards, instead of building Donald Trump's wall where there was already wall, and that was already doing Donald Trump's wall didn't do anything because people could just jump right over or dig under it. It took like no time at all. There's tons of videos of it.
So it must have been the difference of policy then, correct?
And if you can tell me the policy,
one, right?
Yes, I will. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What was lower, the average of border encounters under Donald Trump's first term, okay, or the average number of border crossings at the end of Biden's term?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Yeah. So, which one was lower? The average amount of border crossings or border encounters under the Trump term, or border crossings per month in the last month under the Biden administration?
I have no clue.
It was Biden. So by the time Biden had left office, okay, the average amount of encounters per month, okay, was lower than the average amount of border crossings per month under the Trump administration.
What policy changed?
It was an executive order.
Which one?
Oh, geez, I
you love to put people under the gun yourself, so I like to.
No, but the difference is to see how,
which one specifically?
But sir, you see how I just said I don't know.
Correct. I said that many times. Don't pretend that I haven't.
And did I attack you for saying that?
No, but
then why are you attacking me for saying I don't know? I don't know is always a good answer, sir.
As a point to try to get people.
No, those other people won't say I don't know.
Okay, well, I have.
And I'm not attacking you.
I'm
sorry, sir. Did I hurt your feelings or something? Because I have not attacked you at one point during this conversation.
Not at all.
Okay, cool.
Can I ask you one
So when
last
we're talking
question
about
before
policy,
we? Oh,
when
go
we're
ahead.
talking about policy, there was 3 different major huge policies that Joe Biden tried to get passed, including one within the first week of his presidency, and then 3 more, and all of them were blocked by Republicans, specifically the third one being blocked by Donald Trump himself, which would have been the most comprehensive immigration policy update since the 1960s. And Donald Trump specifically stopped that himself. Okay.
You and I both know that was because there's a bunch of Ukraine gobbledygook
That's
crap
not
in there
true,
too.
sir, at all. Actually,
yes, it is.
No, it's not, sir. Actually,
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, sir. And actually, the bill was completely standalone. The only reason that Ukraine funding and Israeli funding were added to it was because Republicans asked that the immigration bill was attached to the funding. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then when it was attached to the funding, Donald Trump came down and said, no, don't pass the bill. And they were like, oh, it's because of freaking Ukraine and Israel funding. Yet they then separated the bills, and those same Republicans voted in favor and passed the Israel funding and voted in favor and passed the Ukraine funding. So let me ask you a question, sir. If those same Republicans were willing to pass the Israeli funding when it was a standalone bill and pass the Ukraine funding when it was a standalone bill, then why did they have a problem passing those 2 pieces of legislation when it was with the immigration funding or immigration bill?
It doesn't belong together. They're separate
Gotcha.
issues.
So they didn't actually care about the Israel-Ukraine funding, even though, again, and let me be very clear, the only reason that those funding bills were with the immigration bill was because Republicans requested to attach it to it because it wasn't originally attached. So Republicans asked to attach immigration to the funding bills. Then they shot down their own bill because it was written by Republicans. Then Republicans shot down their own bill because it was attached to the funding that they requested. Then they separated the bills, pushed all 3 bills individually, and voted for both of the funding bills, but then still shot down the immigration bill. Did I get all that right?
Sure. That's not what I'm here to talk about. You asked what was important to me.
Gotcha, because that makes no fucking sense, right?
I said immigration, and I said the inflation, right? So we've talked about those. So I don't claim to know about the things that you just brought up. So that's not an issue to me.
Well, it is an issue to you, sir, because you're claiming that they stopped it because of the funding, and that's not the case.
Okay.
They stopped it because Trump asked them to stop it. And that's why literally there's on video and on tape on Fox News, a bunch of freaking Republican senators saying, including Senator Lankford, the 3rd most conservative senator in the Senate, one who is a huge Trump supporter, on camera saying the only reason that this bill was stopped because Donald Trump came down and said, do not vote for this bill. I need to be able to run off of immigration in order to beat Biden. And if you pass this bill, it will fix immigration and I won't be able to beat Biden. And so that is why we stopped this bill.
Is that speculative or are you quoting?
That is Senator Lankford. I can bring up the video if you need me to.
Yeah, no, I mean, are you quoting Trump's words directly or hearsay from someone else?
No. The Trump said it to the senators. All the senators said, this is what Trump said.
Oh, Trump told me he didn't say that. So where are we at with that now?
Actually, Trump never claimed he didn't do that.
No, I said he told me. So it's my words.
You've talked to Trump?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
Words are words, right?
So that's fine. I'm totally okay with freaking with the crowd either believing all of the videos of all of the super conservative MAGA, Republicans on Fox News saying that this happened versus you just saying some stuff that no one believes. So I'm totally cool with that. If that's the best that you got, then I'm cool with that.
All right.
Do you know what a first-hand account? You know what a primary source is, sir?
Can I please?
Do you know what a primary source is, sir?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Or is it firsthand?
Go ahead, sir.
Is that
that's fine.
Another way of saying firsthand?
That could be one of the ways, but go ahead.
Okay, so I was just gathering from context what it probably meant. Sorry about that. Do you practice Judaism, by the way? I'm just curious.
I do not.
From you? Okay. So you wouldn't believe in everything that Judaism says, correct?
I don't believe in anything that Judaism says. My point was not what Judaism believes. The idea was that the idea of multiple genders has been around for a long time. That was the entire point.
A lot of people have some pretty outlandish, crazy ideas, right?
Yeah, something like there's 2 genders. That's a pretty outlandish, wild one.
Yeah. Well, you did make the claim that Trump has never said anything about anatomy, and I did want to point out that that's a farce as well. He has strictly only recognized the gender of male and female. He made that announcement. You know that, right? Federally.
Male and
So
female are not genders.
They are the sexes. And you said he has
Correct.
never said anything anatomy-wise, and he did. That is something he said. So.
Sir, just the fact that you said genders already says it's not anatomy. That's literally just proves my point.
Just so you know, you said gender and sex interchangeably in that last
well, if I misspoke, then I apologize.
So people do that, right?
Yes, people make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, so
I have no problem admitting that I make
mistake. Just because I made a quick mistake doesn't mean you have to completely just throw it out, right? I mean, they're pretty.
What mistake did you make?
Pretty closely synonymous terms, right?
They have been used synonymously, even though they're not.
Yeah, more commonly than not, right?
No,
I think that's fair to say. So
no, that's not fair to say.
So you said he's never made any statements about anatomy, and he has recognized only male and female from the government. That is a stance he has made. It was announced at press briefings at the White House. So can you at least? You said you
all right, go ahead and prove that then. That's fine. I'll wait.
Oh, what do you mean? Prove that? Okay.
Well, I mean, you're making a positive claim. You're saying that he did X, Y, Z. That's fine. If you can prove that, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Okay. If you will give me the just second to Google it.
To Google what?
The fact that Trump has only recognized two sexes.
Two sexes or two genders?
Two sexes, male and female.
Okay. Well, he can recognize that all he wants. It's not true.
Right. He made it so it's federally.
No, it's not.
It says yes.
Because you can't mandate you can't federally mandate biology.
The policy of the United States government is to recognize only two sexes, male and female.
Only two genders.
It says male and female.
I know, and then it says genders. It shows that Donald Trump doesn't know he's right. Oh, you want me to pull up his executive order? That's fine.
I'm looking at it too.
Sure, that's fine.
Oh my God. I can't believe that you just you can't concede 1 point. You're like, I never say if I'm not wrong. You're wrong here. It's okay.
Sir, can you stop crying, please?
You can be wrong, buddy.
Sir, can you stop crying? Can you stop crying, please?
I'm not crying. Can you just admit you're wrong?
I was I was literally trying to pull up the executive order, and if I was wrong, I would have admitted it, but you decided to go on this entire crying binge. So if you'd like to stop so I can pull up, sir, if you'd like to stop so I can pull up the executive order, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Do. Across the country, ideologues who deny the biological reality of sex have increasingly used legal and other social coercive means to permit men to self-identify as women and to gain intimate single-sex spaces and activities designed for women, blah, blah, blah. This is wrong. Efforts to eradicate the biological reality of sex fundamentally attack women by... that no one's trying to do that. The erasure of sex and language. I'm sorry, where is he doing this? I'm sorry, just because he says...
If you go to section 3, you'll see that recognizing women are biologically distinct from men.
Mm-hmm. And where in here does he talk about anatomy?
Or
are you just saying that because he said the word are you just saying because he said the word biologically he's talking? I guess that's a point.
You're really grasping at straws here.
No, you're really grasping at straws. I'll give you that point. I guess if that's the one you want.
If we can't have a conversation that's as simple as this, you're not going to get anywhere.
Again, sir, can you please stop crying?
You're going to get nowhere with anyone because all you
sir, if you're going to continue to cry, I'll just
bull fucking shit.
It's okay, little guy. Okay, I know you probably need a hug. I'm sure you probably
fold you like a lawn chair, bitch.
Sir, I'm sure you need a therapist and probably a hug, and probably you probably needed your father.
There are two genders, and you know it. There's two sexes.
You probably also needed your father, little
guy. Champ,
it's okay, champ. You let it all out.
It's okay. You'll learn one day.
Can I get a bunch of baby bottles and snowflakes in the chat for this little guy? Sir.
Bro, you're only getting roasted in the chat, and I know it.
Sir, are you done crying yet? Oh, he ran. Oh, he probably went to go find his feelings. Guys, can you guys send me someone a little less soft? Goodness gracious. I was going to tell him, I was like, hey, if that's your whole point is that he just says biologically, so that's your anatomy, then that's fine. I was trying to admit that he was right, and he just literally went off to like a crying fest. But I guess that's pretty standard for weak men. Naomi, thank you so much for the dollar super chat. I really appreciate that. That is some sad freaking people, man. I actually truly do feel sorry for people like that. I really do. I feel very, very sorry for them. Can you imagine just getting all worked up and crying because of an executive order? That's wild. Hi, welcome to the live. How are you today? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
Why would I hang up? I didn't hang up. Why would I hang up? I'm going to make a video about that guy crying later. Hi, how old are you?
Okay, so I am 18. The reason why I
What year were you born?
2004.
Nope, nice try though.
My bad.
Hi, welcome to the live. How are you today? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hi, how old are you?
33.
Awesome. Did you vote for Trump?
Nah, I didn't. Only thing that I'm saying, brother, to help the quality with your show and everything, brother.
Not interested. Hi, welcome to the live. How are you today?
Welcome to the live. How are you today?
Oh, wait. Am I actually on the live?
Yes, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Awesome. Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Awesome. Stand by. No, man. Thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. No, I'm just not interested in what other people think about this. I've been doing it for a long time, and enjoy yourself. If you guys don't like the quality of my live, I do suggest you start your own. Sounds great. Anyway, so why'd you vote for Trump?
I just thought overall, economically, he was a better choice.
How?
And so with Kamala, she was vice president to Biden, and obviously we saw what the economy did. It wasn't the best. So I didn't think that voting for the same thing would make it any better.
The economy wasn't the best to begin with, but it was freaking amazing by the time it got done. Besides cost of living, I understand that people didn't feel it as well. And I do wish the Biden administration had done a better job of vocalizing that, right? And actually speaking about like why people were feeling the way that they were feeling. But at the same time, the Wall Street Journal, which is a very conservative publication, said that the economy that Biden handed over to Trump was the envy of the world, right? We had record numbers as far as job growth. There was a record low unemployment. We had record highs on stock market. We had a record high on median household income. There was many economic factors that were not only high, but record breaking.
I mean, towards the very, very end, like the last year, I will say it felt a lot better. The first 3 years left such a bad taste in my mouth. I wasn't really down for trying it again with Kamala.
Well,
overall,
hold on. I want to address that real quick. Yes, the beginning was rough, 100%. Not gonna lie. Donald Trump or Joe Biden also got handed the economy during the worst economic disaster since the Great Depression. We had the fastest recovery from COVID than any industrialized nation on the planet. Right? We had the lowest. We had a lower than average inflation rate than any other industrialized nation on the planet. Right? Like we recovered very, very, very well. Okay. Donald Trump in his first term was able to ride an awesome economy and just not do anything, and it was awesome. Joe Biden took a failed economy that was also exacerbated by Donald Trump pretty much printing money at the end of his, term, and which is, and the OPEC Plus deal, which both caused super high inflation. He was able to take that and turn that into an amazing economy. Donald Trump's never had to do that. So why would you think that he's going to continue to help?
So let's just say all that's true. Do you think Biden was actually running the country?
Yes, we can stop with that. Just Bill, thank you so much for the subscription. Dude, I'm so sick of this stupid argument. It's such a dumb argument.
I'm not trying to make it it's like genuinely we watched the guy deteriorate.
I'm watching Donald Trump deteriorate right now.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree.
I don't think that he's not running the country because of it.
No, I'm not super high on Trump right now either, but like I'm willing to admit that. Whereas Biden voters, it seems like they trotted him out for the debate, full well knowing he couldn't even like put two sentences together. And then like I forget who it was, they were saying like Biden is in the best shape of his life mentally. I've never seen him sharper. And then they want to ignore the fact that they said that. Like
They say that about
just
Donald
tried to
Trump
swap him
literally
out.
right now, regardless. Second of all, no one tried to swap anyone out. Okay, that's not what happened. All right. First of all, second of all, let's just pretend that's true. First of all, I have no doubt that Joe Biden was running the country. First of all, because no one else can. He's the president. You can't just run this shadow government behind, no matter how many conspiracy theories you talk about or whatever. And yeah, he had a really bad debate. They said he had the flu. I don't know if that's true or not. He did have a really bad debate, but this whole like he couldn't put two sentences together is absolutely fucking ridiculous and so fucking stupid, right?
So
But regardless of any of that, even if we assume somehow that he wasn't running the country, the people that were running the country still did better than Trump. If it was Kamala Harris, she still did better than Trump. Actually, if Joe Biden wasn't running the country and Kamala Harris was, and she did that fucking good to where, again, like the Wall Street Journal called it the fucking envy of the world, then that's even more of a reason not to vote for Trump and to vote for Kamala Harris. If you truly believe that, that's even more of a reason.
No, so a little bit of pushback on this with Biden. You have to have heard the interview from a year or two before his presidency ended, where he can't even remember like.
Sir, I don't care. I have no allegiance to Biden. I couldn't give a fuck about Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't running. Like, Joe Biden wasn't running against Donald Trump. Kamala Harris was. Do you think that Kamala Harris? Do you think
he was until the debate?
Yeah, and then he wasn't.
But if he was the candidate, you would have supported him, right?
Over Trump? Yeah, Trump? I would support a snapping turtle over Trump because I saw what Donald Trump did to us the first time, and I saw his plan on what he was going to do coming up. I would have taken my Australian Shepherd. My Australian Shepherd probably could have picked up a better economic plan. Okay.
So are we going to disregard everything that happened under Trump's presidency? Like
what?
Unemployment. Like
what did he do to help unemployment
for lowest unemployment rate in 30 years for all minority groups, women,
until Biden came in office, and then he beat that record.
Okay, so he beat the record after COVID of an economy that Trump had handled very well. The inflation rate when he took over was 1.3.
Whose unemployment rate was 1.3 when they took over?
The U.S. The inflation rate was 1.3%.
When who took over?
When Biden, in January of 2021.
Yeah. We were still freaking in that like weird COVID spot. There was a whole bunch of weird shit going on then.
Yeah, but is that not like pretty impressive to bring it down from double digits to 1.3 before Inauguration Day? That's not impressive?
Not in the middle of COVID, it's not.
So then why did it shoot right back up?
If there was no COVID, sure, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but why did it shoot right back up? Like, how is that not impressive during COVID? That makes it more impressive, right?
Because we were watching all the effects of COVID take hit on inflation. We didn't start to see the inflation, the huge hits of inflation, until the economy started to open back up. Okay? It's really easy to keep inflation low when nobody's buying anything because nothing's fucking moving. No one's going anywhere. Shipping containers aren't moving. We don't have shortages of anything because nothing's happening. The whole economy was shut down. It's very easy to keep a low inflation rate when the economy is completely shut down. It was when the economy opened back up that we saw all the negatives, because then we saw the durables and the shortages of durables that were happening. We saw the lowering of shipping lanes. We saw the effects of like the COVID, the OPEC Plus deal with the restrictions on fuel. We saw all of those things.
So when would you say that the economy officially opened back up then?
It started to open up, like I guess, what was that, middle of 2021?
Well, in June of 2021, it was already 5.4%.
Yeah, and it kept shooting up. I said middle of 2021. You said June of 2021, yeah.
So in 2020...
Sir, what causes inflation?
Whenever you print too much money, and there's a lot of factors. I mean, in short, if you're printing too much money... if you don't have enough, if you have too many goods, not enough buyers, etc. There's lots of different things, but
correct. There's a lot of different things. Now, first of all, let's start with the fact that if you actually watch the presidential debate for 2021 in 2020, when Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley were running against Donald Trump, they both debated very, very clearly that the reason why we're about to go into inflation, okay, is because Donald Trump printed all this money. I guess that was the 2024 election, I guess, right? And they were like, the reason why we went into inflation is because Donald Trump printed all this money, and that he did all of that for the stimulus checks and all that sort of stuff that happened in 2020, right? So even the Republicans recognize the fact that printing money came from Donald Trump, and it came in the form of stimulus checks back to the people, right? And other COVID recovery things. So you're right, printing money, that's one way of doing it. Second thing is, right, like when you have, not enough goods and a high demand, okay? When things weren't being created due to COVID, and so therefore we had a very low, very low supply, right? And then all of a sudden everything opens back up. People have tons of fucking money because they've been sitting on it because they couldn't do anything during COVID. Now all of a sudden somebody wants to spend, right? Okay, cool. Now you have a very high demand, you have a very low supply.
Yeah, and so the stimulus checks, I know it popped up in my memories the other day. They came in around like May and June of 2020. And at that point, I mean, it's kind of like, what do? Do you let people default on their house payments? Do you let people default on their car payments, et cetera, et cetera? Or do you, spend money so that people don't lose all these, like their house and things like that?
Sure, I don't necessarily have a moral quandary with the stimulus checks going out. Like,
yeah,
if that's what you think I'm going to argue with you on, I'm not, right? Like, I understand making sure people don't like you said, lose their. Now, granted, those stimulus checks probably weren't enough to help anybody not lose their house. You know what I'm saying? But there was other protections and stuff that were involved in that. But I don't have a huge problem with the stimulus checks going out. But just because I don't have a problem with them going out doesn't mean that they didn't have an effect on inflation. Right? They can be both. I can say, hey, it was a good thing that the stimulus checks went out, and also they had a negative effect on inflation that was handed over to Joe Biden.
Yeah, but I guess my point here is that it seems odd that it would take a full year for that to kind of rise, and then so the next year it's 5.4%, and the next year at that time it's 9.1%. Like that it caused 9% inflation over 2 years to send out two checks of $1,200.
What was the global inflation rate at that time?
I can pull it up.
I know the answer. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, I believe it's 10.5. Okay.
So we do have the strongest economy, though.
Correct, and also the largest economy, which means that it's very easy to go off the rails, right? And I'm not arguing with, it's not a matter of the strongest economy or the largest economy or all that stuff. What I'm saying is all of these effects of COVID hit every single nation on the planet. They hit everybody. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Biden, it wasn't Trump, it wasn't any of that stuff. These effects of inflation, including things like the OPEC Plus deal, including like things like the war in Ukraine, right, with a restriction on oil, coming from that, they hit everybody, right? So blaming Joe Biden or anything that, or even Trump's stimulus checks or anything for a worldwide problem is ridiculous. And I'll say that from Trump or from Biden, right? Like both of them. Now, could Trump have done things better to help the economy come out of it better? Like including maybe not spending so much prior to COVID? Yes, absolutely. Could, the Biden administration have been better by maybe being able to negotiate the OPEC Plus deal to end quicker, even though they did do their best to do it? Yeah, there's possible things that it could have done. But the whole reasoning behind it was not Trump or Biden. It was just COVID. It was just COVID. And that's okay for it just to be COVID. You know what I'm saying? And when we have economic disasters like that, they don't just recover like the next day. They take years and years and years and years and years. The fact that we're even at the place that we are right now is pretty fucking impressive. Like truly. The fact that our economy has even gotten gotten this much better in 4 years is really, really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's just perspective. I just feel like Trump being a businessman and seeing like, you can say what you want, but during his 4 years, our economy was pretty solid. I just think it would have come down a little sooner. I mean, we weren't even below 6% until, and I know there's like global impacts. I just think Trump would have done a better job. And I mean, he negotiated a good bit of deals with foreign countries.
Like
I know he's getting railed. I know he's getting railed about tariffs right now.
No, hold on. But what deal?
In let's see, we're talking 2016 to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's been forever since I've done one of these debates.
You're fine. Can you just tell me which deal he negotiated? I'd love to hear about that.
I'm trying to think of some. Dude, it's literally been forever. We reworked NAFTA.
We had to rework NAFTA. NAFTA expired.
Yeah, I mean, well, wasn't it like talks about either renewing it or reworking it, or no?
Yeah, I mean, but one of them had to happen.
But
also, let's be very clear. Donald Trump is currently calling the USMCA, which is his renegotiation. He's calling it the worst trade deals ever. Donald Trump is calling it the worst trade deal ever. Not me. That's not my words. Okay. Donald Trump is saying that the trade deals we have with Canada, the trade deals we have with Mexico, only an idiot could have negotiated them. They're the worst trade deals ever. Those are literally Donald Trump's trade deals from the USMCA, his renegotiation of NAFTA.
Are you talking about like prices of like imports and exports that come in from Canada versus Mexico and things like that?
Yeah, our trade deals. Yeah. The ones he negotiated, because NAFTA expired, right? So he negotiated the USMCA, right? The United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, right? Which was the replacement for NAFTA. Okay.
Well, is it so?
And that said things like tariffs, right? Like that set things like tariffs.
To my understanding, it doesn't. I mean, those are negotiated between countries on a like. That's not all encompassing with the USMCA, right?
It's not all encompassing on everything, but it is the standard of trade deal between those countries. And it is what sets things like tariffs. All the tariffs that Donald Trump says are horrible, those are negotiated. Those are tariffs that are negotiated in the USMCA, like things like the dairy industry that he was like all tripping out about, like, oh, they charge us for like dairy tariffs. That was things that were negotiated within the Trump's administration. Like he's angry about his own trade deals.
Well, I'm just looking up like comparison charts. I can't find anything about the dairy other than in the USMCA just says that U.S. farmers can export their stuff to Canada, whereas before they couldn't.
So the USMCA is like a large bill.
Yeah, I know. I just can't find like tariffs on dairy stuff, but I don't want to take up too much time. I mean, at the end of the day, reason I voted for Trump is just because like he's a business guy. And
sir, what's the point of a business?
When I make money.
Qasim, what's the point of the United States government?
Protect the citizens, make money, make us strong.
Protect the citizens, right? To take care of its constituents. That's what the point of an economy is. That's the point. Not to make money. A government should not be making money, right? Now, should we be in debt?
Yeah.
No. And if Donald Trump, you were saying, oh, Donald Trump's a businessman. He can like balance the budget or like whatever. And Donald Trump is currently trying to pass a bill right this moment that's going to add $4 trillion to our national debt over the next 10 years. So like, he's not doing that, right? He's not making us money. He's not doing any of those things while also simultaneously not helping the American people. So this whole idea of like, oh, he's a businessman is a really, really bad argument because businesses' job are to make money. And the reason why that's so important, right, is because we have things like, look at the cuts that like Elon Musk was putting in, which I find fucking hilarious because Elon Musk is even saying Donald Trump's bill is going to add a bunch of debt and is going to do the opposite of what he was hired for, right? That's why I don't know if you've seen their feud yet today.
Yeah. Me and my family have been talking about it. We're Team Elon on it.
Your Team Elon? Well, that is the one that shows me you're at least somewhat intelligent here. Okay, you're at least smart on this. I'm not even a big Elon fan, but when the stuff he's saying is correct on this stuff, like it's just is what it is, right? But
yeah, like I said earlier, like I voted for Trump because that's what I think was going to happen, and who knows what happens if Harris gets elected, et cetera, et cetera. But also on just like common like worldview policies, I agree more with him. And like I've been a little bit disappointed with Trump so far. I'm, no matter who the president is, I'm hoping like it benefits everybody better. And I'm hoping he turns it around. But like, yeah, this big beautiful bill seems not so big and beautiful.
Sir, this is just like the only major piece of legislation he passed in his first term. It's the TCJA on steroids. That's what it is. And the TCJA was going to put us in a recession. The only reason it didn't go into recession is because COVID hit. Well, we still went into recession, but like the only reason Donald Trump wasn't blamed for it was because of COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, the TCJA would have sent us into a recession, because that's what major tax cuts like this to corporations do. Okay, they hurt us every single time. That's why I think it's the last freaking 4 or 5 recessions that have happened in the United States have all happened under Republican presidents.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that old one you're talking about. As far as like common ground stuff, like I appreciate the more of a focus on trying to keep borders secure, things like that as well. So those are just the other reasons I voted for Trump. But yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time. But yeah, I'll let you know, there's people who voted for Trump and we're not so happy with him. There's a lot of people who are not every Trump voters and never like a always Trumper or whatever you want to call it. But my opinion on everything politics is like whoever's president, I want them to do what's best for America. I want everybody to benefit from it, and try and not just stick your head in the sand for one party or the other.
Yeah, sir. The problem with you saying like, not everybody like a never Trumper. Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Like that's the big problem, is that everything that Donald Trump is doing was all in Project 2025, which was his plan from the get-go. He's doing it all. He's deporting American citizens. He's getting rid of people that are here legally. Okay. He's cut taxes for the rich at the expense of the poor while removing social safety nets. All of the things that Donald Trump is doing right now, all of the negative things that you're like, oh, I'm not really sure. He said he was going to do that. People like me have been on the internet for, a year and a half saying this is what Donald Trump is going to do. He's doing all of the things he said he was going to do. So it's just weird for me to hear like, I voted for Trump and I don't like this, when this is exactly what he said.
Who were they?
They were 3 children that were U.S. Like, are you asking for their names? Or
yeah,
I would have to pull up their names. Or Hafrican is in the chat. He can get it for me really quickly.
Because I heard that big thing about the guy in Maryland or whatever. But
you're talking about Kimar Abrego Garcia.
Yeah, and he was an illegal citizen who had MS-13 tattoos.
He didn't.
He had the smiley face, the smoke. He literally had the MS-13 symbols. And
sir, if everybody that has a smiley face, if everybody had a smiley face and a cross and a MJ leaf tattooed on them, then like, no offense, but every like half the white kids I went to high school with are all MS-13 also.
So the MS-13 tattoos in order is the marijuana, the smiley face with X's, the cross, and then the skull, I think, or whatever it is. This guy had it like, what was it? Across his knuckles.
First of all,
and he had been arrested for like aggravated assault on his wife or something like that, and had been threatened to be deported multiple times before. Like that guy, it's been forever since I've read about it, but
sir,
like the guy
those
was not
tattoos were not MS-13 tattoos. Literally, the people that have spent their entire lives studying MS-13, like the professionals, all say that those are not MS-13 tattoos. But let's be very clear. Even if they were, he still gets due process. He doesn't get to get deported to a foreign terrorist prison just because you think you see some tattoos. Because like you're showing right now, someone can just tell you that a certain tattoo means something, and then people will just believe it, even though it has absolutely no bearing in reality.
It's not no bearing in reality. If all the gang members have those tattoos, they all wear the Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan jersey. They all do exactly what he was doing, and he was already like he had been like threatened to be deported multiple times before he had already had due process when he'd beaten his wife and kids.
Yeah, the wife who says
Like,
that didn't happen now. Yeah, 100%. And it was never the kids, by the way. But also on top of that, okay, again, sir, if wearing a Chicago Bulls jersey and having a cross and a skull tattooed on you, you just described half the white kids I went to high school with. Okay.
no, it's specifically the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls. It's widely known that that gang wears
still
that
on that,
jersey
sir.
in Chicago.
You're telling me wearing a Michael Jordan Bulls jersey in Chicago is MS-13?
With the MS-13 tattoos,
With a
yes.
smiley face and a cross?
The marijuana smiley face cross skull in the order
sir,
that did
sir.
like, come on,
sir. No,
this is what I'm talking about. With like, I try to
pull
stay
your
down the
head,
middle because
pull your head out of the sand. What you're saying doesn't even fucking make sense, dude. You are literally claiming that the most sold basketball jersey in the history of of basketball, matched along with the most common tattoos in America,
common tattoo
are all fucking like are somehow freaking a MS-13 tattoo. All freaking MS-13 tattoo, or at least the majority of them, all have MS or 13 on them. Okay, they don't mix it with the most common tattoos you ever had in your life, bud.
No. I don't know if you know this, but gang members don't announce they're in gangs, so they go by symbols.
MS-13 does.
A lot of them don't. What, like, a lot of them,
sir?
You're just saying all these.
If you're saying they don't announce that they're in gangs, then why would he get a tattoo that, according to you, is a common gang tattoo?
Because it's symbols. It's like.
So is he announcing or is he not announcing? Because literally, if it's so common that you, random person that is not an MS-13, can recognize it from a Fox News article,
MS-13
then
has become pretty big. MS-13 has become pretty big, and a lot of them have been arrested, and they all notice a lot of these people have these tattoos. A lot of these people in this gang wear this specific jersey. Like, it's putting two and two together.
They're probably all Hispanic too. We should just start rounding up Hispanics because most MS-13 members are Hispanic, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, sir. Just because you can find something common that happens for a lot of Americans, do they all have hair too? Should we start rounding up people that have hair because they might be MS-13?
How many people, since it's the most common tattoo, how many people do you know that have those 4 tattoos in order like that?
Sir, show me one other person besides him that has them in order like that.
The MS-13 gang members.
Sure, cool. Show me one.
Let's just go to Google.
Sure, okay. Gladly. I'm on Google. What do I need to type in?
All right, let's look up MS-13.
No. Tell me what I need to type in. You said I could find this easily. Where's that?
That's what I'm doing.
Are you looking up how to look it up?
No, I'm looking up.
You're looking up how to look it up. No, this would be so common. All right, let's see. MS-13 tattoos. Let's see. Skull, leaf, cross. First article: tattoos on Abreu Garcia's fingers are not proof he's an MS-13 member. Experts say.
From where?
Literally the first article that pops up. But that's okay.
But like,
I can pull up another one. Let's see. Expert. Okay, that was CNN. Here's CBS. Experts cast doubt on Trump's claim that Abreu Garcia's finger tattoos prove MS-13 membership. Oh, that's article number 2 in a row showing that that's not true. All right, let's see if we can keep this thing moving. Al Jazeera. Let's see. Got to go down this one. Henry show beyond pressure. This one actually doesn't have. MS-13 experts told PolitiFact that none of the pictorial tattoos in the photographs is a known signifier of MS-13.
Yeah, MS-13 is telling the truth to them.
No, sir. These are people that study MS-13 and their tattoos. These are crime experts that specialize in the gang. You know, something that you aren't.
Yeah, and so the people who are in charge of deporting gang members also have no clue, right?
I'm sure they have a clue. Doesn't make any of this true.
Yeah, but like this is their whole profession is they study this stuff.
No,
And
your random ICE
they're just-
people are not the people that study this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the ones who are doing the research. They're the ones who are sent out from the people
Have
who
you
do the
actually
research.
looked at the qualification to get deported for MS-13?
Let's look at it. What is it?
Oh, I've looked at it. It's wears sports gear. Has common tattoos like a cross.
Can you pull it up?
There's a whole thing. I'm not going to pull the whole thing up, dude. You can actually look at it, and it's a point system. And guess what, dude? Apparently, I'm MS-13. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm brown, and I wear sports gear, and I have tattoos. I meet like most of the qualifications. I might be gone soon.
I mean, if you can't pull that up, that's
Sir, I'm not going to do all of your homework for you. I just did a good bunch of it. I'm not going to do all of it.
No, I mean, but I made a claim and we checked.
Yeah, if you make a claim, then you should be
so.
able to prove it. I'm still waiting on you to prove it.
I was saying let's look it up, and you went to
No,
CNN
you
and
said
CBS
you had
article.
proof that this was a common MS-13 tattoo. I just pulled up 4 different sources showing that you were wrong.
No,
Okay.
No, I didn't say I'm the arbitrator of truth on this. I just said that these people do it. Notice
Who are these people?
patterns. What?
Who are these people? Because again, the experts that study MS-13 are saying that's incorrect. And ICE is not the expert.
Then
ICE is the enforcement.
Okay, so who's feeding information to ICE as to go about
Donald Trump and his administration.
Okay, what department? Is it directly Donald Trump?
Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. And so the Department of Homeland Security says that if you wear a sports jersey and you have tattoos, you're MS-13. Or is this a different source saying this?
What? Dude, there's a checklist that is public. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, but you're saying Homeland Security is the one who does the stuff. So is this the Homeland Security's checklist or is this someone else's?
This is ICE's checklist, dude.
From the Homeland Security.
I don't even know what you're asking me anymore, dude. What are you even saying?
You're saying this checklist.
Are you saying
is how they
Christy
do it, so
Nome?
I'm
Are you saying Christy Nome is like the fucking professional on fucking like on MS-13 because she's a senator from like North Dakota who shoots puppies?
No, I'm saying this checklist you're saying that ICE uses. You're saying Department of Homeland Security is who does the research. So
no, I didn't. I just said that frickin' they issued the checklist. I never said they did the research.
Okay, so it's the Department of Homeland Security's checklist that says if they wear sports gear and they have tattoos, they're most likely MS-13.
There is a list of points, and you get points for all sorts of things. Points that somehow got a freaking gay hairstylist and makeup artist sent to another country for being MS-13.
Yeah, and I'm just asking you.
Because he had a mom and dad tattoo on him.
I'm saying, you're saying this is the Department of Homeland Security's list.
Bro, it's ICE's list. Do you know that ICE works for the Department of Homeland Security, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so the Department of Homeland Security tells ICE what the qualifications to pick someone up is, correct?
Yeah, so then why is ICE making their own list?
Okay. Sorry. Do you have anything else?
Yeah. Your biological sex doesn't change based on your identity.
Okay. I would totally love to have this conversation with you, but literally I just lost so many brain cells trying to explain how a freaking cross and a skull isn't like an MS-13 tattoo that there's no way I'm going down this rabbit hole with you because you're not smart enough. Okay.
How you identify, does that change?
All right. Have a good day. All right.
Does it change your...
All right, cool. Anyways. All right. I'm smelling food downstairs and I'm really hungry. So I'm gonna go eat because I have to get to sleep soon anyway. I will be back on tomorrow night and I won't have to be up early on Saturday. So I will be on tomorrow night and we'll have a nice long time. Aquarius Chat GPT tells you the tattoos placement of MS-13. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I'll have to look that up later. Appreciate it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. We do this 5 days a week. We have a lot of fun on here. That guy wasn't fun, but we actually do have fun. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys.